I would love for all of you to give a very warm welcome to former world #1.
Thought there'd be maybe a couple people in here. It's raining. I didn't think anybody would come.
Guys, Chris Evert is in the
Oh, you're so nice. She's good at her job, isn't she? Yeah.
Thank you. Is that on tape that Chris Evert says I'm good at my job? Thank you. It is so good to see you, and it is so good to see you cancer-free, looking fabulous.
Yeah. Walk in the room and they ask about cancer. Okay. All right. You're good at your job. Yeah. No, I am cancer-free. I am, if you even know. Let me see. The last 3 years, I've had cancer twice, actually, because I had ovarian cancer 3 years ago. Went through chemotherapy. Unfortunately, my younger sister died from it, so she basically saved my life because and quick story, and this is why I'm very pro getting the message across about genetic testing for all of you guys. She had ovarian cancer, so right away she was tested for the BRCA gene, as you know, the BRCA gene. And I don't know, Angelina Jolie, remember her? She had the BRCA gene, and she had ovarian cancer, and she had a mastectomy because it affects your breasts also. And Jeannie didn't at that time have the BRCA gene, but she had a variant of, they said, uncertain significance, which basically means it wasn't tested enough to really put a stamp on it and say it's cancerous. So she had stage 4 ovarian cancer, didn't feel anything, just felt tired, that was it. But she's a caregiver, and she didn't care about her. She cares about everybody but herself. So, kind of forgot about herself. Long story short, she passed away, and then a year later, I get a phone call from the geneticist saying, "Remember that variant of, that was suspicious?" And I go, "Yeah," and she said it turned into the BRCA gene. So go, get tested. So the next day I got tested. My whole family got tested, and I was positive. And my brother was positive as well. My other siblings weren't. So went to the doctor, and the doctor, my gynecologist, said, hysterectomy right away. We're not even going to fool around with this. Let's just be progressive and get a hysterectomy. I was in my 60s, so I was like, you're not going to be having kids anytime soon. You don't need that stuff. So went in and had a hysterectomy, and oddly enough, he thought, he was shocked too. He said, you had cancer in your ovaries and your fallopian tube, which leads into your ovaries. And, the tough thing was they had to go in again 10 days later and see if it had spread anywhere else, to the lymph nodes or anywhere else. So it was like for 4 days I was thinking, okay, I'm stage 1 right now. I could be stage 1 or I could be stage 4. And that's one's life and one's death, so that was pretty bad. Anyway, didn't spread, got it all out, but a year later got it again, didn't spread, got it all out, and that was a year ago. And I had to go like every 3 weeks, every 3 months to get a CAT scan. But my message to you guys is, especially because men can get breast cancer as well, believe it or not. Oh, by the way, I had a 70% chance of having breast cancer as well, so I had a total mastectomy as well. So it's been like 3 years of like 8 surgeries and chemo, and but I'm not as bad as that guy. Still sitting here, healthy. Oh my God!
You're still fighting.
Yeah, I'm still fighting. Humbling. It's a very humbling experience.
That was on cue.
I know. It's like I feel so much better now.
Well, another fighter, obviously, Martina Navratilova also had cancer, and the two of you, we were talking earlier, I mean, the two of you have had a rivalry. Now you've become really good friends, supportive of one another in this time. And I believe you two are even working on a new project together, is that correct?
Yes, we are. I don't even know if we're supposed to be talking about it, but we are working on a documentary together on our rivalry and our friendship. And then the cancer got in also. It's going to get in there too, because Martina's had 2 bouts of different cancers in the last 4 years as well as I have had. And it's like we look at each other and we go, we just can't escape each other. I mean, every week, each won 18 Grand Slam titles. We've had the same amount of, years we were on the tour, and we just can't get away from each other. Just, but we've gotten closer, and she's been very brave through her cancer struggles as well. And she's doing fine too. She's clear. Everything's clear. Yeah.
Well, I love how all these years you guys are still so supportive of one another, and I think, when it comes to women's tennis, there has been a lot of support, because recently the WTA came out and says that they are going to be paying expectant mothers a full year of money so that they could be a little bit more comfortable while they're pregnant. What are your thoughts on that? How progressive finally is? I mean, not even progressive. This is the future.
I think tennis is the first sport that's done that, if I'm not mistaken. And I think WTA is always looking for ways to be progressive and to be proactive and to help the women to make it as easy as possible. Because, quite frankly, when a woman gets pregnant, she's out for that 9 months, and she's out for probably a good year and a half at least, and if a woman gets pregnant and has a husband that's playing tennis, what is he doing? He's out on the tennis court. I mean, men have it way easier than we do when it comes to that. And times have changed now, and during my career, players usually retired around 30. I mean, if you're in your late 20s, you were old to be on the tennis tour, and now women are retiring, players are retiring in their early 40s. So there's now a 20-year span, or even a 25-year span, that you can have a career. So why not, enjoy having a family? You can have it all, because trust me, before then you couldn't. You had to stop, and then you had children. And that was just, there wasn't the care, there wasn't the money, there wasn't, now there's so many more opportunities, for women to have it all at the same time.
Well, Belinda Bencic, she was actually sitting in that chair yesterday telling us about, being a new mom, and she made it look easy coming back, winning a title immediately in Abu Dhabi and juggling all of that. How impressed are you with how many moms there are on tour? There are a lot of moms on tour now.
I don't know the number. Do you even know the number? Is it like 12?
I think it's like 15 maybe.
Wow. No, I mean, look, we had Yvonne Goolagong and Margaret Court in our era. I mean, there were two. And it took, their husbands were very helpful, but still, they took off 2 years at a time. And, I'm very impressed with Belinda. I can't believe that she came back this fast. Also, Svitolina came back. When she came back, she's better than ever. I just think Serena came back great. I mean, she reached, 5 or 6 major finals, didn't win the one that she really wanted to. But I think, when I look back after I had my first child at 36, I felt like my body was better. It was stronger. It had dealt with adversity, but it was stronger. And are you saying yes or no? Are you groaning? I'm sorry. We're with you. Yeah, I think you're strong. I think the women are stronger. Azarenka, she's stronger now than when she was 10 years ago. So it doesn't, there's not that fear that, I'll never be the same, I'm weak, I had a baby, It's more about empowerment now.
Well, when you talk about older and stronger, let's talk about the men for a little bit. Novak Djokovic we saw him do yoga by the lawn when here before. I mean, he looked like a yoga instructor. You know,
Yeah.
he's just so flexible and still playing. Although he hasn't had the best few months partnering up with Andy Murray, I don't know how that partnership, how far that is going to go. But what are your thoughts on that? Because it would kind of be like Martina coaching you, because Andy and Novak were in the same era competing against each other.
Well, Novak's gonna yell at anybody who coaches him. I mean, let's just get that out. I mean, have you ever seen him like looking up and going? Yeah, no, he needs to get it out. He needs to get that anger out, so he gets it out from his player box. I feel bad for Andy. When he's yelling, I'm like, don't show Andy, please. I don't want to see his face. You know, we all love Andy Murray, you know. I mean, don't yell at Andy, for Christ's sake. I mean, a little respect. But yeah, I think Novak, you know, there comes a time when it's time to retire. And he's getting near that time. It's really interesting. I remember when I was thinking about retiring, I remember I had a bad loss, and I was like 34, and I really was at the end of my career, and I was devastated. And somebody asked Pam Shriver, who is a really good friend of mine, but somebody asked Pam, you know, do you feel bad for Chrissy because she's starting to have a few? She goes, I don't feel sorry for her. I feel sorry for her. And I was like, I was appalled. I was like taken aback. I was like, you don't feel sorry for me a little bit, you know? But at the end of the day, no, you shouldn't feel sorry for any of these players who have been number one in the world for, 15, 20 years and have billions of dollars and have set up many businesses and who have tennis academies and endorsements, and I mean, they're set for life, and it's, it's like the circle of life. So, because I sense in his press conferences he's kind of getting down and kind of feeling sorry for himself a little bit. I don't know if you sense that. I sense that. And it's like, it's okay, it's just be appreciative of what you had, and nobody's bigger than the game. There's going to be a whole new generation out there that's going to do just fine.
It almost seems like when it comes to the slams, he may be a little bit more motivated. And Serena obviously was motivated for that extra slam.
Right.
He wants to reach 25. That is the number. At what point do you think mentally he's going to say, all right, I can't
This
anymore.
year. This year, yeah. I mean, if he plays out this year, this whole year, I would be surprised. But
yeah. Well, sorry. Well, we shall see, but, all right, I know you guys are dying to ask Chris Evert a question. Look, I don't even have to finish my sentence. We can only take a couple, so you had your hand up first, so go for it.
First of all, thank you for being such an amazing person.
oh, thank you. Well,
Speak loud, speak loud.
Secondly, you've played thousands of matches, thousands of games. Which ones in your heart, whether it be a championship or not, were the most memorable in life?
Wow.
Getting this.
Yeah.
I get that question a lot. Yeah.
I didn't copy it.
No, I know. And I'm like, I always have the same answer. I'm like, oh my gosh. I had 18 years of, really a wonderful career. Probably match-wise, I would narrow it down to 1985 French Open. On clay, beating Martina in the finals, because I had lost her 13 times in a row. 2.5 years she beat me, and I couldn't figure it out. And my coach, Dennis Ralston, kept saying, you gotta get to the net. You gotta get to the net, take the net away from her. You have a good volley, you just don't have confidence in it. And sure enough, I came to the net, and I swallowed my pride, and it worked. I was surprised that I did it, but champions are stubborn, and it was like I beat 99.9% of players playing my game, but I couldn't beat Martina Navratilova. So instead of changing anything, I was stubborn not to do it. But that match I did, and it was like it's like 10-8 in the third, and I felt real joy, you know, I really felt joy, and it was at the end of my career, so that one, I think, meant the most to me.
Okay, we're gonna take only one more question, actually. With the sunglasses, yes, you. You.
So who are or do you think will be the next big three?
2, 3, or 4, or just 3. Well, obviously in the men's, it's Carlos and Sinner. I mean, I think they could have a great rivalry. They're so different, and that's why I think the rivalry will be very interesting. I think if you go skip another generation, I like, who do I like?
Shelton.
Ben, and also Alex Mickelson. So Ben Shelton and Alex Mickelson, I think, they just happen to be American, but I like them both, and I think they both have big weapons, huge serves, and they're cocky, so that means they believe, you know, which is a good thing. And nice young men. I can say young men because I'm so old, but they're not men to me. But they're both very, very nice. So I like their chances. Mira Andreeva, I would keep my eye on her. She's been around for like a couple years, but she's awesome. She's really still a teenager, but she's really bulked up, and she's gotten stronger, more muscular, worked on her fitness, and has the mentality. So I like her chances too.
Well, they are the future champions. We have a champion here forever. Please, let's thank